The film opens inside a transport and two men who are bantering about somebody named Arun, understanding that the two of them knew him from an earlier time. Before long, every one of the travelers participated in that discussion by communicating how they likewise know Arun, and one of them says it's unusual how they turned out to be on a similar transport. The transport that is passing through the mountains unexpectedly goes to one side and tumbles off a precipice. Every one of the travelers has kicked the bucket except one, Vikram, who is being hospitalized. The specialist let him know he was oblivious yesterday, however, and after it's all said and done, his left hand was extremely dynamic. A flashback takes us back in time and we see Vikram's folks being in a meeting room with their primary care physician. The specialist lets them know that inside the mother's midsection happened something many refer to as evaporating twin condition, and one of the twin siblings has retained the other one inside it to make due, since there was insufficient nourishment for the two of them because of a lack of hatchlings. The specialist adds that the ingested twin has been embraced to the left half of the globe of the child's cerebrum. Furthermore, the neurons from the left half of the cerebrum extend to the child's left arm. So fundamentally, similar to the youngster will conceive is going to live for two individuals. Be that as it may, the other twin will survive the left arm of the kid. A short montage shows us how Vikram grew up and presented the difficult circumstances he needed to look at because of his responsive left arm. At the point when Vikram is allowed to leave the medical clinic, he visits his sister's home to see her little girl Maha, who he believes is a resurrection of his mom. We moreover see that Vikram is a chief, and the following day, he and his associate visit a collectible shop where they should meet with another client. At the point when Vikram sees that client, Chitra, he understands he has known her from school and they had a romantic tale returning then, at that point. The film takes us back to before and shows us what occurred. While Vikram pursues a menace to whip him, he knocks upon Chitra and sees that his watch begins working. He tells his companion that this watch was a gift from his mom and hasn't worked recently. Be that as it may, when he and Chitra contacted, the watch began ticking. Vikram attempts to draw nearer to Chitra, yet his left arm follows up on its own and consistently places him in a difficult situation. Chitra whines to the chief about Vikram's unacceptable way of behaving, and the guideline calls the two of them for a visit. Vikram's left arm gets Chitra's hand and doesn't give up, even in that frame of mind of the guideline. Vikram needs to drag her out and advises his hand to give up. A short succession shows us different events where Vikram attempts to intrigue Chitra and make her come around, however his left arm ruins everything, without fail. Be that as it may, another open door arises when a lot of fellows are irritating Chitra also. Vikram races to her guide. He thrashes those folks, and that ends up being the initial step for them in drawing a piece nearer to one another. As time passes by, they become more amicable towards one another until they have an opportunity to hang out together, despite the fact that that opportunity is demolished by a call that Vikram gets it from his sister. He tells Chitra he needs to go, however he will be back in no time, which as we learn back in the present, won't ever occur. Chitra tells her colleague Vikram didn't return that day, and he didn't return by any means. It's been a long time since the last time they saw one another. They continue with their field-tested strategies, and Chitra enlightens him concerning her organization's objectives and how she maintains that the promotion should seem to be. The following morning, they shoot the promotion and it ends up being a major achievement, since Chitra requests that Vikram go to the USA to shoot an American form of the promotion. Indeed, they do so. Vikram attempts to draw nearer to Chitra, despite the fact that she needs to stay away. Vikram enlightens her regarding what happened a long time back and makes sense of the vanished in light of the fact that he made a difference. His sister got hitched to the man she cherished, a wedding that was against their dad's will. He adds he returned for Chitra, however everybody had lost contact with her and he couldn't see her. They share some more data and Chitra lets him know she adored him in those days. Furthermore, that is the reason she named her organization V Rewind, causing the letter V to allude to Vikram's name. Vikram tells her that she is likewise present in his life and company and shows her that if she changes a few letters in his organization's name, her name is there. A short succession shows them hanging out and Vikram likewise makes sense of the circumstances about his left arm. Yet, Chitra says that is not unreasonably awful and she can figure out how to live with that. Vikram returns back home and he has nodded off on the secondary lounges of a taxi. The taxi driver is searching for Vikram's and his sister's home yet can't track down it. Vikram awakens and lets him know he has passed the house and the driver eases off with the taxi. Vikram shows up at his home, yet he sees it has been destroyed. He runs out and his companion Tenali illuminates him that his brother by marriage and his niece are dead while his sister has wound up in the emergency clinic. Vikram visits his sister in the emergency clinic and she is in a coma. The specialist lets him know his sister is out of risk, however it will require some investment for her to recuperate and move past her shock completely. Later on, Vikram looks at certain clocks on the wall and understands that the time regions don't coordinate. At the point when he was in the USA, he talked with his niece on the telephone and the time the house was blown doesn't coordinate with that call. He gauges that he talked with Maha after the house was blown, so that implies Maha is alive. He passes through the streets in the night, however he gets over a spike trap, which pads his tires. He gets a call from a man who lets him know the bomb at his sister's home was expected of him, yet he is fortunate. He additionally says he believes Vikram should feel that it's preferable to lose something yours. Vikram is gone after by two men, yet he promptly pushes them off. Vikram goes directly to the police and lets them precisely know what happened, however the police do not exactly ready to help him, expressing that the reports they compose were inspected by experts and they can't be off base. They don't trust Vikram's story, however he demands in requesting their assistance, which in the long run settles on the main decision for him and his companions in his office. Nonetheless, he isn't exceptionally useful and has different activities that interest him more. Vikram lets him know that persistence has its cutoff points, however the boss doesn't appear to irritate, which makes Vikram's left arm snatch his head and knock it in front of him. Vikram realizes that he needs to do this by himself and he visits the specialist who treated his mom what's more, from youth, letting him know that they need to figure out how to control his left arm since he has zero control over it and that may be an issue. The specialist says a sibling is a guardian who we never requested and shares a story with his mom. Previously, he had let Vikram's mom know that he can desensitize the neurons in his left arm furthermore, make it more controllable as an entirety as opposed to it being constrained by the left half of the globe of his cerebrum, yet his mom told the specialist she should have twins despite the fact that that turned out badly, so she needs to have both of her youngsters in a single body. Vikram's companions assist him with following the quantity of Arjun, the one who captured his niece. However, they understand the number is a clone of Vikram's number. Be that as it may, Arjun imparts with him the following day and takes him through a progression of preliminaries just to have some good times with him. He makes Vikram get a few stuff for himself and pays with Vikram's ledger, saying that he has the entirety of his data and passwords. Then, he makes him track down a harmed kid and go through the metro station. Vikram becomes worn out and he snatches a water to drink, which Arun later tells he contained a few tranquilizers in it. Vikram is feeling discombobulated and is practically prepared to fall sleeping. However, he shocks himself to continue onward. In the end, Arun and his colleague are hanging tight for him toward the stopping point, yet Vikram doesn't make it till there and implodes on the floor. Vikram awakens in the medical clinic and Chitra lets him know this person is shrewd, so Vikram needs to set his fury to the side and play it brilliantly. Vikram attempts to ponder what occurred also, gather a few hints that could end up being useful to him. He chooses to return to where he found the harmed kid, however is hit toward the rear of his head and falls oblivious. A vehicle drops him off at a confined area and some bikers begin cycling around him. Vikram guards himself from the beginning, yet they at last began hitting him with different metal articles, making him crash and burn on the ground. Different recollections begin streaming inside Vikram's head while Arun cancels one of his men and tells him they have played an adequate number of games and they ought to kill Vikram now. One of them gets on his bicycle and plans to run over Vikram, whose left arm assumes responsibility and stops the bicycle, turning it over. The remainder of the posse assaults him, yet that isn't an issue for Vikram, whose left arm ends up being extremely gifted areas of strength for a fight. Vikram gets back to his companions and his left arm tosses a sign at him, causing Vikram to understand that Arun has had something to do with the transport mishap he was in. They research how the casualties were associated with him and they validate their premonitions when they visit Arun's dad, who let them know he knew it all, however expressed nothing to the police since he proved unable to sell out his child. As it appears, Arun is the one who should get hitched to Vikram's sister, be that as it may, she didn't adore him. He was ready to wed her, yet she never appeared at the wedding. Meanwhile, Arun has seized Vikram's sister from the clinic, yet ideally, Vikram knows where to track down every one of them. Vikram visits Arun's area and he needs to conflict with his flunkies before he gets to Arun. Arun lets him know it's a disgrace he came till here to kick the bucket. Be that as it may, Vikram beats everybody, lastly battles with Arun. Be that as it may, he before long needs to let him proceed to save Maha before she falls into her demise. Arun attempts to strike for one final time, however Vikram harms him. Not long before he passes on, Vikram lets him know that when virtuosos utilize their brain for a decent reason, they are called wizards, yet when they use it for evil, they are called psychos. Vikram takes Maha back and reunites her with her mom. Meanwhile, his relationship with Chitra is fine and everything makes sense. Subscribe and hit that like button to help our channel grow. Turn the notifications on so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.